it's Polo bear. I don't care. It's quite a rough ride, just like life. But I'm kind of patient, 'cause only time will tell. It's gonna go up, so you better stay calm. Grow your coins, you gotta grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins. Grow your coins, you gotta grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins. Grow your coins, you gotta grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins. Grow your coins, you gotta grow your coins.
What's up? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's about 10:24 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I see some familiar faces in chat. How you doing, Melanie? Rusty, my business partner, is in chat. I'm sure he's going to be trolling me somehow, some way this evening. Rusty actually, he's going to, I guess he's still doing some stuff with NASCAR, and he's going to invite me out. Is it this weekend? Yeah, this weekend for NASCAR in Indianapolis. Unfortunately, I couldn't go, but he allowed me to send 4 friends instead. So that was very cool. One of the most generous, sweetest guys I know, even though he's always asking me for naked pictures. I don't know why. Hopefully he doesn't send those to anybody. Jake the Red, what's up? What's up, Robert? Good evening. So I've actually been... there's so much kind of happening, and I've been wanting to really zero in on specific projects for some really in-depth videos, but I'm not gonna lie, it's really difficult because there's so much happening, and just going through the different metrics and to try and basically say, okay, I'm just gonna focus on these 10 projects and then I'll work on 10 more. It's like one thing takes you to something else, and there's so much, and it's really difficult. It's really difficult to try and just narrow everything down. Even if I were to just do like a few altcoins per video, it's just going to take more time. And I've been super busy giving everybody some updates on things. What is there to update? There were like 3 different things in my head before I hit the live button. Now they're all escaping me. Trying to get an ad going for Chainwise. I'm using the Bitcoin and Friends promo. I'm going to try and get that out to like 1 million people on YouTube. So hopefully they approve my ad by tomorrow and it starts running. And if you're watching crypto videos, you're likely going to see it. We're a couple months out, and I really want everybody, get your tickets, get your reservations, get your stuff situated. I want to see you there. I'm really doing a lot of the online, I know we're going to sell a lot of tickets to this event. My fear is not having a lot of companies. And so I'm working out ways to try and get that out. I mean, I've got so much local marketing on television and radio and all this stuff going on. And there are going to be a lot of people there, because the momentum was starting to build when I canceled it and postponed it till now. Or postponed it till November. And my hope is that come November, Bitcoin's back over 20 grand. And the altcoin starts to rally, and then we start really seeing some momentum, and that'll drive interest in altcoins, and then more people will find out about Chainwise. So hopefully I'm going to see all of you guys there at Chainwise, and you're bringing your friends and you're telling everybody. I'm trying to get more influencers on board to help promote it. I just can't afford to pay them. So, I'm doing what I can, but I can't pay a bunch of YouTubers, I like to think, look, casual mentions about Chainwise here and there on somebody's channel only helps the space. It's not helping me. It's not making me rich. I mean, Rusty's even my business partner in this Chainwise convention, and we're not doing this to make money. We're just not. So we're really hoping more people support it and talk about it and things like that. Some press releases are going to start going out here soon, and we're getting more speakers and just all kinds of stuff going on. So I'll keep everybody updated, but if you haven't gotten your tickets yet, make sure you get them, because that stuff helps a lot. Helps with planning as well. Let's see here. Oh, another update. My calculations about Cardano. in my last video were wrong. And that's basically a problem that I have working on calculations at 4 a.m., especially when I'm doing a lot of stuff on notebook paper. And then I go into a calculator and I confirm things and I'm half a zombie. What's up, Michael? And so but my calculation was off by half. I basically said, if Cardano were to obtain 12% of the total market capitalization, when the market cap reaches $1 trillion, which I definitely expect it to do, 12% is 3 times the market capitalization Cardano had back when it first came out. And it was just sheer speculation only. No real functionality, nothing really going on. That's over 26 billion shares. You're looking at almost $5. So my previous prediction of $5 for Cardano may be more accurate than I even originally intended. Welcome, Chelsea Thompson. A new crow is born. And so that's actually really good news. But I wanted to update everybody on that. Actually, one of the viewers is like, really fun video, but your math is a bit off. And he explained it. I'm like, son of a gun, you're right. Thank you. So I pinned it so everybody could see how dumb I am. Twitter. Somebody keeps trying to hack my damn Twitter account. And every time it happens, I get a notification. Divi project, I'm still working on getting my masternode set up. I'm not sure if I have an internal issue or what, or if it's my security, but I'm getting all these weird issues and the devs are all working to try and get me going with it. And I think it's running now, but there's just weird things happening. But I am liking Divi project, and not just because they sent me enough coins to do my own masternode, but I've always kind of liked it. I thought it was cool. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted Crow coin. Well, welcome, Caesar. A new crow is born. We're getting a lot of them tonight. This must be a good time. Are my pants on tonight? Maybe. I am fully clothed this evening. I was fully clothed last time too, even though when you couldn't see me, just because I turned the video off. It's just like my hair might be all messed up, and I'm probably just not wearing a shirt is really what it is, because it's hot down here. I have no windows. I have no nothing in this beautiful man cave my wife designed for me in the new house. And it gets really damn hot. First time here? What? Oh, goodness. But anyway, looking at Bitcoin real quick. Interesting movement. Another thing. Where is it? So, Crow Trader. I'm getting excited. Because you guys don't know what's happening yet. But Crow Trader bought the devs. Damn, that's a sexy bitch right there. Yeah. Man, Photoshop's a hell of a thing. Crow Trader is actually we're getting ready to release the update that is going to have CoinBase Pro live trading on it, and you're going to be able to trade in USD pairs. So basically, if it's on Coinbase and it's a trading pair on Coinbase, you're going to be able to trade it on Crow Trader. And that is going to mean so much. I wish it was actually the first thing that this bot launched with, because you can actually make money in a bear market trading against USD. Yes, sirree. And so I'm actually pretty excited about that. Hell yeah, that's right. So that's coming. The lead dev is literally testing it as we speak, showing his trades and all that stuff, letting us know it's happening. So I'm really kind of excited about that. And then the next step is, so we're trying to decide, like down here, you'll see that I have, man, I tell you what, so Tone Vase reached out to me yesterday, or this morning actually. And he was like, hey man, he's like, I had somebody on my channel recently, and he's like, I'm getting like inundated with emails from guys that are calling him a scammer and all this stuff. And I'm thinking, oh no, who is it? Because I didn't know who he was talking about. And he was talking about CryptoFace. CryptoFace, if you're watching this, I'm sorry, dude. And he's like, is he a scammer? Who is he? What, like he what's the deal with him? I didn't do a lot of background and all this. And I did too. Like when I had CryptoFace on, I was just getting slammed with emails and videos that people are making online about CryptoFace and Market Cipher. And, one guy tracked down, I guess, somebody who created like one of the original like blue wave indicators and this and that. And I haven't dove too much into it. All I'm going to say is, and the point I'm even bringing this up is because there's Market God, which I've always kind of used just because it kind of flags the buy and sell signals. But, that I think costs money now. And then you've got this, which is the Crypto VN Wave, which is free. And you've got the buy and sell dots. You've got the red and green dots, and they line up on pretty much identical to Market God. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to set up Crow Trader so that it's probably going to function off of these red and green dots. So your bot will buy and sell on these dots. And we're going to do it that way because if we try to do market God, then people are going to have to pay for it. And here's the thing, and I'm going to leave this at this. As far as, Market Cipher goes, even if they took some free indicators off of TradingView and then beefed it up and added their own flair and made it easier to use or easier to understand, or they took one thing and they put a bunch of stuff together, I mean, whatever, that doesn't make it a scam, guys. It doesn't really make it a scam. Now, if they used indicators that were written and released freely, then those people should at the very least be credited on Market Cipher's website, because not doing so is basically like, that to me is a little shady. But it doesn't make, and the fact that it's like 0.1 Bitcoin or whatever, it's like $1,000 right now, it's insanely expensive. I mean, insanely expensive. But it doesn't make it a scam. If anything, it just makes it an overpriced luxury item. I mean, to me, that's kind of the way I'm looking at it. And I see a lot of the emails, and I told Tone, I'm like, look, I don't think, I told him, I was like, I like the indicator, and I like the way it looks, and I like what it does, and so forth and so on. But I'm going to leave it at that. Like, I personally would not pay $1,000 for it. I wouldn't pay 0.1 Bitcoin for it. I would use some of the free alternatives that do similar things in a less pretty fashion. But if I'm rich and I've got 30 Bitcoin and I'm trading and I, whatever, then maybe I'd throw 0.1 Bitcoin at buying it. And CryptoFace is more of a marketer as well. Like, he has a business partner who's in his 50s that is apparently the guy who really put a lot of this stuff together. So I wouldn't put it all on Face's back. And I'm not saying all this because I'm trying to kiss his ass. He sent me half a Bitcoin, big deal. Like, I've like come out against a lot of different people who've paid me a lot more. So it really has nothing to do with that. The term scammer, and all that, it's just thrown around so loosely in the crypto space that anybody that does anything in crypto is somehow labeled a scammer. And to me, that's just bullshit. It's like, you got to really look at the facts and understand things a little bit more clearly from a business perspective. And I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm probably never even going to bring up CryptoFace again. It's just, Tone Vase was asking me questions, and I'm like, look, man, I had him on too. I got the same thing. It is what it is. He's got a lot of haters. He's not exactly I think a lot of people's contention with CryptoFace is that he tends to be very cocky, and if you piss him off or do anything, he is like iron-fisted about everything. And that to me is just due to age. Like, that's it. That doesn't make somebody a scammer. Just makes them a little bit of an asshole. I'm just calling it how I see it. Thanks for the content. I talked about you on the show tonight. What did you say about me? I hope you said I was pretty. I'll have to check it out. I'll have to see what was going on. Crow talking about Market Cipher NCF. Ben, you freaking genius. Best projects. We're going to look at some of these projects for sure, because I want to look at some of the statistics on some of this and see where we're at. He is a hothead a-hole. maybe. So anyway, looking at Bitcoin, the one thing that I would say is I was watching Crypto and those guys talking, and they were talking about Willy Woo, you want to talk about genius? I want Willy Woo on my channel so bad, and I don't care if he's a Bitcoin maximalist. The guy is absolutely brilliant. I've looked. I have no way of getting a hold of this guy, but I just want to talk to him. To me, Willy Woo is one of these guys that we're going to look back on, like in 20 years, and we're going to be like, that dude should win, like just his analytics of Bitcoin, the technology, the just what this man does. Like, I don't know, something about Willy Woo fascinates me, and I'm diving deeper into him because I am very interested in people. I'm very interested in learning how people think. I'm very interested in learning like what motivates somebody and how much time they put into things and how they come to their conclusions and things like that. And Willy Woo just seems like the kind of dude where he just, I don't know if he's got a hookah or something like that. Not a hookah, like one of those big pipe, like the big tobacco pipes, just sits there. He reminds me of the dude in Big Trouble in Little China. I do not mean that in a bad way, but it's the guy who's always changing outfits and costumes and faces. But there's something about him, like if he had an accent, a thicker accent, and he's just, I don't know how to get it. I mean this all in the best way. I'm probably killing myself. It's just his demeanor. It's like he's got this chill kind of like, I don't know. I'm just going to shut the hell up. But the dude is brilliant, and I love him. I'm a fan. I want to have him on the show. I want to pick his brain. I want to listen to him talk. I would love to have him at Chainwise. Absolutely love it. But something tells me the dude's always traveling all over God's green earth, sharing his knowledge, and what a wealth of knowledge that is. But I, at the very least, want to have him on the show sometime. So if any of you guys know how to get a hold of this guy, drop him a note and let him know I'm trying to find him. Just don't tell him to watch this, because I hope it doesn't come across wrong. I mean it all in the absolute best way. But anyway, getting to the point. This is what happens late at night. As I start to get tired, I just ramble. Especially if I don't have a specific focus in mind, or a bunch of tablets or slides or anything to share. But anyway, he had posted about the 128 daily moving average, which is this thick blue line. And we're basically talking about how in the bear market, this blue line was always above the price action. And then during a bear market, it typically clicks over and it takes under, and then it sits under the price action. And that during the bear market, the price oftentimes bounces off of this. So it doesn't matter where the price is high, it always finds its way back down to the 128 daily moving average and then bounces off of that. And I was diving into this right about here. So I was curious to see, because if I was zooming in and I'm looking at it and I'm like, well, it's not really touching it. It came close here at 93.22, but to touch the blue line, it was about $100 short. But it was close enough, I thought. And so, but it did break through here, and then it basically touched this 93.22 resistance level, but it didn't touch the moving average. And I thought, if what I'm hearing and reading and all of this stuff from Woo and everything, it might bounce from here. So I felt pretty good about it. And then boom, we got a green candle on the next day, and I'm like, holy cow. And so I started going back, because apparently during a bull market, like the last bull market especially, we had, so if you see, this is all the last bull run. And then during that last bull run, I marked all these little yellow arrows. Those are all pointing to the times when the price action touched the 128-day moving average, but never really went below it. And if it did, it was a wick. And so I'm like, man, there really must be some credence to this. And then, we crashed and everything started to come down. Well, once we did that, the price action basically took under the 128-day moving average. And with only a few exceptions, did it rise above it. And some of those I would feel safe to say that those were not manipulated pumps, but whales playing with the market. And so now here we are, we're back from the point the 128-day moving average started to take position under the price action, from that very pivot right there all the way up to the very first pump before we started to drop in this downward channel. We were up 234%. And I'm like, that's a pretty significant pump. And over the course of a year, we're expected to see a lot of this, where we're going to see 200-300% pumps, and then we'll see corrections down to bounce off of the 128-day moving average and then go back up. And we might do this 7, 8, 10 times over the course of the next bull market, or this bull market, whatever you want to call it. And so I feel pretty good about this. I also feel like, even though I expect to see this happening quite frequently over the next bull run, I still have no desire to swing trade it. I really don't. I mean, we'll see what happens, but I'd like to see this happen 2 or 3 times over the course of the next bull market, or this bull rally, and then see where things are. But I expect, like, if we dipped down and we touched on this and we went and we had another, let's just call it, and I didn't go back and see exactly how, I haven't priced out all the changes. Like every time it touched the 128 and then moved up, I haven't priced that out to see, but let's see, where would 300% take us? Let's see, that's 160. Oh. So 300%. I'm not saying this is going to happen, folks. I'm just looking. 300% from here, or from that touch, would take us to about 36.8. So, but and that could potentially happen, but if it did, that might take us into, I don't know how long that'll take. I don't see 300% happening that quickly. Because honestly, what I do expect to happen is we're going to see a pump once we get to around here, about 120% up. Once we get to that point, we're going to start seeing money start going heavily into altcoins. Because at this point, we're going to know there's going to be another crash. Like, once we hit 20,000, it wouldn't surprise me at that point if, and I'm totally just guessing off of the top of my head, some of you straight pros can look at me and say, Crow's nuts. I'll agree with you. And I don't even know how this works, but if this 128 day were to rise up, maybe if it did something like that, and then if we were to rise up in price action, and we hit somewhere around 20, around December, this would make sense, people, because this is the cycle. 123, we'd hit 20%, and then we'd come back down, and around this point is when we would start seeing money go into the alts, because people are dumping, and they're dumping from the alts, and then we get another touchdown to the 128 moving average, and then boom! We take off from there with the altcoins and the Bitcoin, and the race is on, and we get the volatility back, and we get everything crazy again. That's personally what I see as being possible. So, again, I like to remind everybody, I'm no technical analysis genius. None of this is really technical analysis for the most part. I'm just using charts and what I see. So anyway, but this is what I see potentially playing out and being highly probable. This is called dreaming analysis. I mean, we'll see. You know, I don't really think it's a dream. I think this is exactly what's going to happen. I just don't know when and to what degree. But I think this is exactly what's going to happen. I've made some pretty good dreaming calls over the past couple years, so don't count me out. Just because I'm not selling you trade signals doesn't mean that I'm not decent sometimes. I'm always right sometimes, as Will Smith would say. All right. All right. You gonna learn today. Bitcoin's 10,551. Ethereum down to 178. XRP at 26. Cardano, it's still under 5 cents, which, look, you can get like 263,000 Cardano right now for one Bitcoin. So if you were to have bought Bitcoin at 3,100, if you were to have bought, like, I got $3,000, I'll go buy a Bitcoin. You could buy, you could be buying Cardano like next to nothing right now. Well, I mean, it is already next to nothing, but you'd be getting in fractions of a penny, I think. All right, so here's what we're going to look at. I set this Masari.io. I set this screener up with some statistics that I felt were pertinent to what's going on in cryptos. But before I go into that, let's see what's going on. Hookah. Yeah, there you go. Hookah. I've never smoked one, so I don't really know. Hey, Crow, did you see the 2K BTC premium in Argentina? No, I did not. My crypto guru is Andreas Antonopoulos. From there, discerning the best YouTubers is easy. Yeah, Andreas is, I mean, you know, he's like one of the biggest names in crypto for a reason. The guy's wicked intelligent. He knows his stuff, and he's been at it longer than most. So I've listened to him too, and I watched his Joe Rogan interview. I've watched other interviews that he's done. I have not yet read his book, but I do plan on picking that up because I'm pretty sure I can get it on Kindle, and I'm going to pick up his book just to read it because I'm sure there's stuff in there that I don't know. Even though I've been studying this stuff for quite a while. Everybody has their own perspective on things, but yeah, I like him too. Don't look too deep into historical prices. 300% would be nice. Was just watching your Where is 88 Cardano Now video and realized you went live. That's cool. Descending triangle. Let's talk alts. Yes, we're about to talk alts. I just want to catch up on chat real quick because I don't like leaving everybody hanging. If you don't support BSV, come on. Somebody's holding bags. What up from Australia? Institutions are handled by brokers, and their commissions would be tiny if they put money into even number 2 Ethereum. Yeah, but it's not always going to be about them, is it? Because 2017 sure as hell wasn't, and we had a pretty nice pump. Your statuses is wrong, Crow. I'm not sure what you mean. I remember at crypto at $50. Just got in. You're like the guy in Twister who picks up the sand and tells where the storm's gonna land. Brains over DNA and crypto. Much respect. Well, thank you, Courtney. Comments. Do you like Tezos? Crow, everyone is overlooking a very important fact about the top alts. They already 10 or 20 or 100x. That is why they are not moving. That is why many on the newer projects have been outperforming. Look, I disagree with you there because newer doesn't necessarily mean better. And how do I explain this? When it comes to the altcoin market, look, when you know, I got started in altcoins in 2017. And you know, guys will try and point that out, like, you got started in 2017. You know what? Doesn't mean shit. You know, I still know a hell of a lot more about a lot of things than people do that have been in this stuff for years. How long ago I got into the space, that isn't really a factor. What is a factor is how I've used that time. And I've done a lot of research on a lot of different projects. I've already forgotten so much shit about so many of these projects because they're all so different in so many different levels. And, I know that a lot of these new projects, new companies, it looks more promising because you're thinking I'm getting in low. It's new, so there's gonna be more hype around it, or they have a new way of marketing things, or they're having these IEOs, so it's easier to get in and get out, yada, yada, yada. None of that means jack shit to me. What matters to me is who has their noses to the grindstone and have been working through this bear market. Because, to me, a project that was born yesterday, learned some lessons, have been able to rough it through the hard times and are still working strong and making their milestones happen. Those projects have much more value to me than a new project starting at the low of the market. The fact of the matter is a lot of these projects you're able to get cheaper than you were able to get them at their ICO originally. And that is a pretty big deal. And there are going to be a lot of these projects, as you're going to be able to see. Let's look at an example. Let's see, reported 24-hour volume. What I want to see, break-even multiple. Siren Labs, they can suck it. Not worried about them at all. Dent, this is the break-even multiple. So basically, this is how many times over the price has to double for the most part till it gets to its original all-time high. Aeon is 140x. So if you were to buy Aeon right now at a whopping 7 cents, and it gets back to its original all-time high, you've 140x'd your money. Now, what you mean to tell me is that if this project is actively still in development, actively building partnerships, and during the next the next altcoin rally, the projects like Aeon and others like it, they start coming out with a lot of really great news, and a lot of these companies, don't kid yourself, a lot of these companies are holding their partnership relationships and they're holding their news until people are paying attention. And I know this as a fact because I've talked to a lot of these different people and a lot of these different projects. They look at the altcoin market right now as not necessarily a graveyard, but everything is in like cryo sleep. Okay? Everybody in the altcoin market's in cryo sleep. You've got everybody that's holding and they're waiting. And everybody's waiting because Bitcoin has to lead the charge. Once Bitcoin has led the charge and people say, okay, I'm back to where I started last year and I like some of these altcoin projects that I think had the potential to get me 140x return over Bitcoin that might only get me a 5x return from the $20,000 target, right? So, and that, not that that's not amazing, but you're going to get people who want to play with pennies. And if they, we're going to see a lot of this. And I think that the volatility and the chasing of gains is going to be much more significant than it was during the ICO rush in a lot of ways. One of which is, a lot of people saying, oh, well, the SEC and, they're shutting a lot of this stuff down. No, they're not shutting a lot of this stuff down. You're able to get just about every one of these projects some way, somehow on a legitimate exchange. The majority of them. And if you can't get them on any exchange yet, well, that's a big question. Why? Why not? And so that will be interesting to see. I invested at ICO on some projects that are still not on legit exchanges yet. And I ask myself, why? What the hell are you waiting for? A lot of them don't want to list their projects on exchanges yet because everybody's in cryo sleep. And they don't want the people that have been holding, especially people who've been holding through this bear market, they don't want to then see all these people dumping their ICO tokens in a dead market, in an altcoin market, in a dead altcoin market. So, it's you have to reserve judgment. I'm reserving judgment until the big altcoin rally and things start really kicking off. And then I'm going to be coming down hard. I thought long and hard about it. It's like, look, from a business perspective, it would be kind of stupid to try and list yourself on an exchange right now because you're going to have nothing but sellers. and very few buyers, and the volume is going to suck, and what volume there is going to drag the price down from wherever it starts. So you're better off waiting, come out with a bang, and have like not ICO 2.0, but like your second round. Like, look, the ICO is our first round. We've worked through it. We've gotten this far. Then in the next altcoin rally, boom, everybody's going to be competing for news and updates, showing the world how they're better. And I think that's the race I really can't wait to see. To me, that's going to be better than NASCAR, because a lot of these projects are going to be, it's like the Roman gladiatorial times, man, where these houses are basically sending out their best fighters to see who's going to come out ahead. And I think that's going to happen in the next altcoin pub. But which ones are actually doing anything? All right, well, let's take a look. So if I'm looking at number of active addresses, all these projects, this is telling you how many active addresses there are right now. Okay? Bitcoin has over 700,000 active addresses. Ethereum, almost 300,000. Tron, almost 84,000 addresses. You can see the differences here between 1, 2, and 3. Cardano, I don't think has many. Let me look. Where is it? Cardano has 4,402 active addresses. How much do you think that number is going to go up when Shelly launches? And when that number goes up and Shelly launches, how much demand do you think there's going to be for the Cardano that exists today? I say pretty well, especially considering the fact that there's new issuances on everything. Cardano doesn't. Everything that Cardano has is already out in the world. It's not going to grow. That's it. And so when proof of stake comes, it's going to be from transactional fees. It's going to be from everything that the proof of stake model offers. And look, what's out there is out there. And that's it. Cardano break-even multiple is only 28x, which that's not significant, but it only got to $1.33 before the market started to come down. And it was still a relatively new project. And as everybody knows, because it's one of the biggest complaints, I know I always end up on Cardano, but I feel like Cardano is such a litmus test. A lot of people complain, they're not big on marketing. They're so technical. They're over everybody's heads. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What matters is the functionality. What matters is the service rendered. What matters is, what they're able to accomplish, who's using it and for what. And I think a lot of people are going to use it. But anyway, you've got your new issuance statistics over here. Bitcoin Cash, like $500,000 in new issuances over the past 24 hours, apparently. Bitcoin, $21 million worth of Bitcoin have been created in the last 24 hours. Is that even right? There's no way. I need to look at those numbers. Now, so I know everybody likes to talk about Tron. Tron's $0.015 right now. There are about 84,000 active wallets. Now, this is what I like to see. Commits. These are GitHub commits. So in a lot of these open source projects, the GitHub commits are basically showing you 408 new lines of code, 408 commits have happened. Almost 50,000. Oh, you can't even see this. Hold on. The hell? Oh, I'm moving the wrong daggone thing. Wait. Yet. Shield. Hold on. Sorry. I didn't realize you couldn't even see what was going on here. There we go. I might just have to make this smaller overall. Man, that's big. All right. Well. All right. So it's hard to see behind my head. But anyway, you've got the GitHub. This is how many lines have been added on these projects. So let's see which ones have been the most active. Chain. Jesus. Chain with 1.4 million lines of code added, over 491 commits in the last 90 days. Can you say somebody's gearing up for something? 34 cents. That's pretty crazy stuff. Lisk with 412,000 lines of code, 1,277 GitHub commits in the last 90 days. Lisk is at $1.12 right now. Ethereum coming in third place. What else we got? Zcoin. Mainframe is one I went in on, so I'd like to see them do really well. These guys are really hard at work. Glad to see that. Quark Chain is another one I went into. Look at that. Lots of activity. I'm digging that. Monero, of course, for all of you criminals out there. I'm just kidding. Ravencoin, that looks pretty good. Substratum is still purring away. Look at this. I mean, guys, you can't deny that when the effort is going into these projects. Holochain, 39,000 lines of code. Aeon, look at that. Bam, 33,000 lines of code. 210 commits in the last 90 days. I mean, look, these projects are still working. And look, there are some projects that aren't even listed on this site because apparently either I don't know why, they didn't want to pay. I don't know. Dragon Chain is still pumping away. Neo. I mean, it's like, I don't know what to say. You know what I mean? It's like there's so many different statistics. And if you're trying to figure out which projects are active, which ones stand to do well in the next altcoin rally, this is a lot of what I'm looking at. I'm looking at this stuff. Let's see. What would be Bitcoin's price during the New Year's Eve? Don't know. Yes, sell your Neo? No. You guys want this site? I'll give you the site address. I'll throw it in chat. I'll throw it in chat, but you guys got to give me a like and a comment. Okay? A like and a comment. A good comment. And like once this video goes live. Or once this video goes like public. There's the link. Sorry.io screener. And it's free. It's a free site, but they're starting to add like other statistics that you can add here, and then they're behind paywalls, so they're locked unless you join a payment plan. These guys are getting real greedy. Not only are they charging the companies to list the data, but then they're charging you to get some of the finer details, which I guess is fine, but damn, everything's worth what somebody's willing to pay for it, I guess, So, yeah, I don't know. It is what it is. Luckily, they give us this information for free. But, I'd love to see a free version of this site. Thoughts on Neo? I think Neo's going to make a comeback. That's it. Guys, alt season was a one-time thing full of excitement. No, it wasn't. You're out of your mind if you think altcoin season was a one-time thing. You should give a tutorial. Give a tutorial on what? That's the thing. I'm always looking for good ideas for content, for stuff that you guys want to see. If you guys need tutorials on stuff, just let me know. Post in the comments. I read a lot of the comments on my videos when they go live. Not necessarily, I don't go through the live chat again, but I look through all the comments afterwards. And I typically go back and check for a couple days after a video's gone up. And, if people are like, hey, you should think about this, or hey, can you do a video on that? If it's something like, hey, I'm shilling this coin, can you look at it and talk about it? I ignore all that shit. But if somebody has a legit thing, I'm always happy to do tutorials on stuff. I like doing those. Sorry, I don't want to be a naysayer, but shit, man, look at the charts. I get what the charts say. I understand all that. But It doesn't matter to me. What matters to me, you know how I always talk about like mentality? Okay, like I always like understanding what people think. I like to understand better how people and why people do the things they do and so forth. The altcoin market is in a similar market cycle as Bitcoin. It's just paced differently. And because Bitcoin is the end all be all and it's the first thing everybody goes into, for the most part, you're going to want to have Bitcoin before you can go and put money into alts anyway. So we're going to see the price action of Bitcoin go up. And in some cases, because people expect Bitcoin to hit 20,000 before the altcoins do anything, people are willing to take a risk and sell their altcoin positions for Bitcoin, thinking Bitcoin's going to go up, and then they're going to be able to go back and buy the altcoin back. I don't think that's going to work the way a lot of people think. If anything, the mentality to a lot of the dumb money is, oh, well, everything's down and Bitcoin's going to go up because everybody's saying it's going to go up, and it's likely going to go up to 20,000 before, my Cardano or my Tron or whatever the hell is going to go back up. So I'm going to sell my alt to get into Bitcoin. I'm going to double my money. Then I'm going to have more money to go back and buy my Tron or Cardano or whatever it was I sold. Problem is, when the altcoin rally kicks off, you are not going to have the time. You're not going to have the time to get back into your position or double it. I don't think so. Because when this stuff kicks off, this stuff is going to kick off overnight, and it's likely going to happen in China first while you're freaking sleeping. So if you think that you're going to get ahead of this, I disagree. I'm going to buy $1,000 a month in Bitcoin when Andrew Yang gets in office. That's pretty funny. The tech is what matters, hodl. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's why I always say crow your coins, man. I mean, it's like, look, I get some guys. What the statistics are, 10% of traders do well. Everyone else loses. So a lot of people are like, oh, Crow, why don't you trade this? Why don't you trade that? Because I don't want to lose it. I have enough faith in these projects and in the cryptocurrency space overall that the volatility and the swings excite me. They don't freak me out. I mean, it's like I'm just not worried about it. I'm not worried about the altcoin market and how it's gone down so much and this and that. I'm so versed now in the cycles of things that I'm just not sweating it. Everything's time will come. Even the shittiest scam coin out there is likely going to get pumped in the next real big altcoin rally. I'm just not overly concerned with it. I'm just not. So, it's just a matter of waiting. And look, just about every project that I went into, I can look in here and be like, yep, they're still cranking out code. They're still developing. Everything's moving forward. They haven't died. They haven't gone anywhere and closed up shop. I'm good. I'm just waiting it out. That's it. All these guys that say I made sick gains trading, they also lost a shit ton once sooner or later. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. A lot of guys, especially YouTubers, man, I keep everything straight up. If I've lost, I'll let you know. If I scored big, I'll let you know. A lot of these guys, especially guys that are selling signals and all that shit, join my chat and join this and pay me $50 a month to look at what I'm doing. Those guys, I tell you, I'm not going to say all of them, but a lot of these guys hide their losses. They hide their losses. They're not posting that stuff. Maybe some do, like some of the really, really good guys, if they make a bad swing trade and it really doesn't happen very often, they might come out and be like, oh, man, that was a bad trade. Sorry, folks. Everybody does it. That's the thing. Nobody is right 100% of the time. If any of these guys were right 100% of the time, they wouldn't be on YouTube shilling their own groups. They're traders. They're trading the money that they're making off of selling their signals to begin with. So it doesn't matter if they win or lose a trade. In a way, selling the signals in some ways, I believe, helps these traders do better. There's a movie, I can't remember what the damn movie was, but it had John Travolta in it. and he was talking about, like, he was a lawyer and how disconnected he is on an emotional level from his clients. And he's like, basically, it's like a doctor. You know, a doctor can't perform open heart surgery on his mother. You know, it's like there has to be that disconnect, that almost like a comfort. And I feel like a trader who's less afraid of making the bold moves that are being kind of deciphered by their technical analysis, those guys tend to probably do a little bit better because they're not making such emotional mistakes. And so in some regard, these guys that are doing the trading signals and they're selling their technical advice, technical analysis advice and all that stuff, if they're really good, I do believe that to some degree can make them better because it's less of a risk for them. But again, that's just one of the things that I think about how people think. The pump is coming. Yes. What that is. Whenever I try to get cute and sell to buy back lower, that is when things pump. Well, exactly. That's the whole thing. It's like smart money is buying right now. Dumb money is selling. Dumb money started selling a long time ago. Smart money has just been accumulating this whole time. I mean, that's the difference. I've seen a few big traders do this. When they first started out, anytime they had this is what I'm going to do, they would lose money. Every time they try to do something, just like you said, I'm going to sell, I'm going to make this swing trade, I'm going to improve my position, then the price would pump. And I've seen several people say, when I decided that anytime I got the inclination to make a move, I did the exact opposite, that is when I started making money. And it's true to a lot of degree because that's just how the market is. The market is designed to take money from emotional nooblers who don't know what they're doing. The market is designed by the people who are really good and well-versed at taking candy from babies. And that is exactly what goes on day in and day out. That's why you see get longs or shorts liquidated constantly on these big leverage exchanges. It's just how that shit works. And and it's like when you're swing trading these positions, especially in a downtrend like that, it's like it's a losing proposition for the most part. I guess you can swing trade whether it's a bull or bear market. But let's face it, you hold, wait for the bull market, and then swing trading in a bull market is typically a little bit easier. Or just hold altogether, because then from that point, if you're swing trading, especially large sums, if you're swing trading significant portions of cryptocurrency back and forth, you're just going to be racking up the capital gains, man. Racking them up. And I'd rather just sit and the potential 25-30% that I might make on swing trade averages over the course of a period of a year, I'd rather just save that, let it sit, let the value grow over time and pay like much less capital gains tax, and I still won without all the risk. Yo, we know this already. I don't even know what this is. Nah, Tiger, my home is paid for already. Silver is more. Oh, you guys are talking about silver. Yeah. So, anything else I need to address or I should go over? Let's see what's popping. This is kind of a hangout video. Nothing too specific. Qdom. Last post, 6 hours, 11 hours. A development update from Qdom 11 hours ago. That's nice. I like to see that. Stellar Lumens, 8 hours. The first preview into the agenda for Meridian is now live, and it gets better. We're extending early bird pricing until September 9th, and you can get additional 20% off. Yeah, that's the hard part. Power Ledger, 20 hours ago. I think Power Ledger's likely going to do pretty well too in the next altcoin rally. Like all of these that I have marked that I'm going through, I have positions in all of them. So Matrix AI, I can't wait for that to kick off. 10 hours ago. Neo. Dragon Chain. You Trust. Really hope You Trust blows up soon. Oops, what did I do? Oh. Deep Brain Chain. They're still active, but man, they really tanked hard. I hope they make a comeback. I think it's absolutely possible. Ivy is one that I think is probably dead. Like Ivy, I thought Ivy would be a great competitor against Ripple, but from what I've gathered, Ivy's just a shit show. Just my opinion, but I don't see them doing anything. Open platform. I mean, look at their latest update, June 21st. Why are they so quiet? You know, and they say, oh, well, this is out there. This is available. People can use it. They can develop on it and this and that. And it's like, okay, maybe that's true, but there's just not... there's nobody really pushing this right now. And I don't know if it's because of court proceedings. I don't know if they've got gag orders. I don't know what the hell's going on because they won't tell me shit. But something isn't right. Let's see when their last blog... I'm going to guess their last blog post was probably months ago, but we'll see. Development competition. When was it? Oh, did they remove their dates from their posts? That's convenient. First comment was 10 weeks ago. So I'm going to guess that that was around that time. Open platform should be and could still be potentially extremely promising, but whatever they've got going on, they need to get resolved. It's not helping anybody. So yeah, I mean that's kind of a little bit of what's going on. Not a real eventful video. I know. I just kind of wanted to share my thoughts on things. I don't even know how long I've been live, but I'm guessing probably an hour. And while that may seem crazy, I mean, a lot of my crazy ideas have come to fruition. It's just taken time. I was off by $500 on my $8,500 deal. And I was talking about that way before it was all over YouTube. You can chart that shit. You can go look at it. You know, I was saying 8,500 for different reasons than other people were. A lot of people were targeting the 8,500 because of the futures market gaps and all that shit. I didn't even know anything about that at the time I was talking about. I have to go back and watch my own damn video because I don't even remember why. It had something to do with the EMA crossovers at certain time frames and like where I saw the price action going. And at the time I put that video out, I'm pretty sure Bitcoin was like 10.5 or 11 grand. And I said, you know, Bitcoin's going to hit 8,500 and then go to 22 before the big altcoin rally comes. I was 500 away. If we in fact do not see 8,500 again, which a part of me is thinking we're not going to, because I don't see us dropping all the way down here under this 128 day or 128 daily moving average. So Theta, let's see if Theta's even on here, and then I'm going to call it a night. I don't think it is, but I could be wrong. Theta token, it is on here, up 2%. I liked Theta. I remember doing the ICO review, and I really liked what they had going on. Metrics, that's what I want. Oh, wait. I want it in screener, dink on it. Oh, here we go. Theta token. Did it change it reverted all of my stuff? Really? Now that kind of pisses me off. I don't want to go back through and add all those filters again. Well, that kind of sucks. So I guess you have to create a profile or it reverts. Oh, are you kidding me? So they want you to... You know what? I'm becoming less and less a fan of this site. I need to call them up and be like, hey, you want me to keep using this site? Pay me. Since you guys are making so much goddamn money for every little thing you do. But I know a guy, I have a buddy of mine, I might have him just recreate this whole damn website. He could do this in 30 days. And just make it free for everybody, charge advertising like everybody else does. I don't like when I see this kind of stuff. Like they just, we got to figure out ways to make more money and drain everybody. Look, I get it. I love the site. It's a great resource, but if you're going to start forcing me and changing things and making it more and more difficult to use until I pay you, it's just, yeah. Looks like they need some competition. What do you guys think? Great channel, Crow. And you have the best intro song out there. Thank you, Liquid. Appreciate it. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. Crow your coins. Have some fun. Don't do anything crazy. Try not to panic sell. I should probably delete this or I'll think it's the real one. And yeah, just have some fun. Have a good, productive week. I would like to see each and every one of you guys try to come up with 5 new ways to change your life over the next 5 years and post them in my comments. Some other influencers recently been joking about how I'm like a part of so many different projects and I've got so much going on, and I do. But like I told you guys a year ago, like I want to figure out as many different ways to change my life moving forward. Like I want to be embedded in the cryptocurrency space and in many different facets as I can. And and I think I'm on my way. I think I'm doing a pretty good job. I've been very busy. Obviously the exchange is the biggest. Like once Crow's Nest X completely launches and goes live, that's pretty much it. Everything else is more or less passive for the most part, with some babysitting and maintenance and things like that. But the exchange is going to be a big deal. And so that's where a lot of my focus is going to go. But a part of that exchange success is going to stem from my YouTube success as well. So my hope is that I'll be able to morph this channel into the idea and the vision that I have for it. And that could potentially mean even having other hosts on this channel. I am all about thinking outside of the box, and I am not so full of ego that I'm like, hey, you know what? If I have this particular idea for a video segment or a video overall, to have somebody come in and do that segment, I'm open to that. Like whatever puts the information out there in the best possible way. I like to ramble. Some videos are just not meant to be ramble. And so I've got a lot of ideas and a lot of things. I've got skit video type things that I really want to try. Like comedy, but funny. Funny, but useful and even almost educational in a passive way. I just have a lot of ideas. So, we'll see. But I do appreciate every one of you guys that join me and just kind of listen to me talk. And I love your questions and I love your involvement and engagement. And until next time, I will see you guys real soon. I'm going to go get something to eat, even though it's like 11:30, but I'm starving. Don't get too big and leave us hanging. Look, I don't ever see that happening. Like, even if the exchange were to blow up and did it crazy well, like, as far as I'm concerned, it's you guys that have helped me and enabled me to do everything that I'm doing. And I'm not going anywhere. So, if anything, I just want to get better. And so that's what I think you can count on more than anything. Because if I ended up making a boatload of cash, I'll tell you, I'll have one of the baddest ass YouTube studios anywhere. All right, guys, you guys have a good night. I love you. Thanks. See you again soon.